Let's do this. The Cult of Hockey podcast by the faithful and for the faithful. I'm David Staples of the Edmonton Journal, and I'm here tonight with Kurt Leavins. Welcome, Kurt.
Hello, Dave. Well, that was I could have finished my game grades after the second period tonight.
Well, you probably had a good head start on them, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, I pretty much cruised through the third.
For Oiler fans who love a blowout, and it's not a large number of Oiler fans who like that. Maybe only about 99% of Oiler fans crave blowout, the other team. That that's I'm hoping every night will be a blowout. And
Well,
we
especially against the Canucks, right?
we certainly got our boots filled tonight, Kurt, because that was an absolute blowout. It was so bad that I was expecting violent retribution from the Canucks in the third period, and nothing.
Barely a whimper. That
Yes.
team is in a world of hurt right now, man.
Are they ever? Are they ever? What does Peterson make? 11 and a half, is it?
Did he play? He said
He's,
facetiously.
I'm not the hugest fan of goals plus official NHL's goals plus minus, but he is now minus. He was -4 tonight, and he's -17. So for like a guy who drives the play, that's painful. It's painful for the Canucks, and it's
You,
painful for him.
I gotta say, back when they signed him, I always thought he was a very, very good NHL player, but I watched enough of him to not think that he was a top flight player, and there's nothing I've seen in the last two seasons that have changed my opinion on that.
So they have 4 more years of Elias Peterson at 11.6 million. Maybe if he gets in, I don't know. I doubt they could move him without having to work pretty hard at it. I don't know. Kurt, let's get at it. Oilers 6-0 win. The grade A shots. I'm away from my home video PVR replay, so I didn't get the 5 alarm shots yet. I'll review it tomorrow, but my preliminary count is about 26-12 for grade A shots for the Oilers, and Vancouver had a number in junk time. So
Yeah, the overall shots ended up 35-31 Edmonton.
yeah, man, the Oilers were just Kurt. They've been a really good team for about 24 games. Like the first half of the season, first 25 games, they were going nowhere fast, and now
Yep.
they're back to where they were in the seasons when they challenged for the cup. All of their numbers, their goals, their grade A shots, they all show the same thing. This is at the same level, and it's kind of exciting actually.
It is.
What's your good thing?
My good thing is the fact that they won 6-0 with very little required of either Connor McDavid or Leon Draisaitl. Leon Draisaitl didn't play tonight. If you folks at home missed the news, he has returned to Germany for a family emergency, and so was to miss tonight's game. Will miss tomorrow night's game. Is expected back next week sometime. Connor McDavid, who was good in this game, but registered a single assist. So you know what? When you score 5 goals on a night with no contribution on the score sheet from McDavid and Draisaitl, that's a win. Now it's against the Canucks, but you know what? Maybe this gets a few guys going. Kapanen had a couple tonight. Roslovic had a couple tonight. Podkolzin got elevated to the first line and responded with a nice goal, following up on a McDavid rush up the right hand side. There was a lot of contributions up and down the roster. Not a perfect game. There's a few guys that had their troubles tonight, but for the most part, it was pretty solid, and a lot of guys chipped in on offense. You need that if you're going to go deep in the playoffs. You have to get secondary scoring, and hopefully some guys picked up some confidence with their ability to do so tonight.
It's been, I'm going to say, heartening to see Knobloch stick with that third line. And again,
Yeah,
both you and I have talked about it's not a perfect third line because maybe its defensive presence isn't going to be there when it's really needed in tough games. But we both have agreed this line can really attack, and they're all good attacking players. And finally, they got a goal. Like
and a
Rossi
nice one.
got two, but he wasn't with Howard and Savoy. But on the second goal that he got. Yeah, just it was a nice pass by Savoy cross ice, and Howard made a really nice pass.
Oof.
All Roslovic had to do, all he had to do was rush in there and keep his stick on the ice, but he did that,
Yeah.
which is a really important thing too.
Yeah.
And so it was great to see that line. Like I was hoping to see some success for them, Kurt, so they will stick with it even longer because I want to see, I really want to see Howard, what he can do before the trade deadline, so the Oilers, and use that information one way or another to make their decision at that time.
Well, both you and I really like Howard's offensive instincts, and it certainly showed on that play tonight because it was not only a nice pass, but it was a pass right through the wickets of the defender, and just put it in the perfect spot. And Roslovic just took off like a locomotive and just went straight for the net. And when he got there, bang! There was the puck, and in it went. High skill play by Ike Howard, and he is intriguing to say the least. But he needs to be on a line with line mates like he is right now
Yeah.
that can create offensive chances, because that is how he is going to help you this year is on offense. And if he's with other gifted players, and Jack Roslovic is certainly that, it gives him, well, it puts him in the best position you can to succeed, right? So I hope I hope that Chris sticks with this line going forward. I'm impressed that he did tonight. He's been infamous for screwing with players after they've played well, but he resisted that, even though he had lineup challenges tonight with Draisaitl coming out of the lineup. So I have to give Knobloch credit for sticking with that third line this evening.
I think we're both still pretty sore about Tuesday's game when he put Howard on the fourth line.
Yeah.
Like it's like, why did he do that?
Yeah, and the night before that when he sat Lazaro, like it's we at the Cult of Hockey have long memories.
We've only brought it up every podcast since then, and we'll probably get tired of it in about a month or so. But
maybe
we'll stick with us. Okay, my good thing is, and I don't know if I've said this guy's been a good thing, like picked him as my good thing all year long, although I have said he's played well for periods of time. It's Ty Emerson. And who I often call Troy Emerson for some reason. So he did something early in the second period that I absolutely loved. Everybody who's an Oilers fan remembers the brutal hit that Evander Kane put on Alec Regula early in the year that knocked Regula out for 12 games, I believe, with a concussion.
And he's never been the same since.
Probably not. And I think Ty Emerson remembered because he laid a brutal licking on Kane with a hit. It was almost as hard a hit as Kane put on Regula. Yeah, I don't think he caught Kane in the head though, but he really rocked him.
He did.
And that Emerson's done this a few times, and he's not the biggest guy. He's not the smallest. I think he's about 6 feet, 6'1", about 190 to 200.
Built solid.
He's solid. If he wants to stay in the NHL, if he throws that kind of hit now and then, he will stay in the NHL because the Oilers need players who will do that. And standing up for your teammate, every Oilers player on the bench, I think, it probably was thrilled that somebody stood up to Evander Kane and did that. Then he followed up with a couple really great passes. And the first great pass comes on a goal, which I think should be in the running for one of the prettiest goals of the year for the Oilers. And that's saying a lot on a team with Connor McDavid, because this didn't involve Connor McDavid. It was Darnell Nurse, Emerson, Nugent Hopkins, and Kasperi Kapanen. It starts behind the Oilers' net. A Vancouver Canucks coming around, and Nurse does a great sweep check. He sweep checks the puck, and it goes right to Emerson. Emerson gets the puck and fires it right up the middle of the ice to Nugent Hopkins, who's breaking up the middle of the ice. And then there's a second stretch pass, 2 stretch passes on one play, where Nugent Hopkins sends in Kapanen, and Kapanen puts it right off the post and in the net. It was 4 absolutely outstanding plays in a row, and Emerson was one of the guys doing it. And again, he's not really known for his passing. He's got to become slightly better passer if he's going to stick in the NHL as well. Tonight he did it. He was also involved in the Roslovic's second goal. He kicked off that play. There was a puck shot on the Oilers' net, and he got the rebound, and he quickly put it to Savoy, who put it over to Howard. So he made a really smart heads-up play there. It was a bit of a desperation moment in the slot when he got that puck. Sometimes a defenseman will just throw it away then, but he made a good outlet pass to get that play going. So he just had the one assist, of course, on the stretch pass, because there's not 3 assists on goals, but he had a great game, and he's stepped up into that hole. He's playing with Darnell Nurse in the second pairing, and he's been pretty good in that role, I'd say, so far. Good for him.
I didn't think it was possible for anybody to be good with Darnell Nurse on that second pair.
Cody Ceci was good for a couple years. He didn't get credit for being good. I know I'm
kidding. Yeah. You know what, Emerson? I graded him the co-leader for game grades tonight. He graded out an 8. I agree with everything you said about him. He also drifted a shot in from the point which Trent Frederick tipped on goal, just about went in. Very good deflection. Also had 4 hits to lead the club in that capacity. Yeah, Nurse and Emerson is the thing, because Nurse was good tonight too. So that pair more than held its own. But I thought Bouchard, Ekholm, and Emerson, I all scored 8s tonight, but I felt that Emerson was the best of the bunch.
Yeah. So he's been on good runs in the past. He had about 2 months last year where he was really good. So he's been inconsistent, I'll suggest, and he wasn't good in the playoffs.
No, so he wasn't. They eventually had to sit him.
He's got a monkey on his back, right? He's got to deal with that. The fact that he got pulled in the playoffs. If it happens again, he's probably not on the Oilers very long. Yep. So maybe not even in the NHL. So he has this opportunity, and passes like the one he made today, hits like the one he made today, might mean if he can keep doing it.
Is he Matt Benning, or is he something better?
And it's hard to be something better. It's really hard to make that, and we've talked about this, to make that leap from third pairing to top 4 is one of the biggest jumps in hockey. And within the NHL, it's one of the biggest jumps. So
now, this was against the Canucks, which is, as we saw, is a bad team. But he on balance, the last 20 games or so, has really been quite good.
This was against the Canucks, but that hit was against Evander Kane.
It was.
Who is still one of the most fearsome players in hockey.
Yeah.
So that took guts. Because Kane's going to be hunting you. He's going to be coming for you.
Speaking of which, I think that's
hunting everybody. So that doesn't really matter, I guess.
I think that's the only time Kane had his name called tonight.
Yeah, he's not having a great year, I don't think.
I hear Ken Holland wants to bring him into L.A. Go ahead, Ken. Add one more old player to your club. See how that works out for you.
Do you really want to have Kane on the Kings against Oilers in the first round?
I think we got Evander Kane for his last really impactful NHL hockey.
Fingers crossed. All right, Kurt, what's your bad thing?
I hate to pick on this guy because I like him, but Spencer Stastny really had a rough night tonight. And when you win 6-0 against a bottom feeder team like the Vancouver Canucks, but you have a rough night on defense like Stastny does, that's not a good sign. 5-on-5, high danger scoring chances, 3-4 and 11 against. That ain't going to get it done. It just really wasn't very good. And I thought he made some weird reads on the PK as well, which turned into a couple of Canucks chances. It's just, we keep hoping that either he or Regula grabs the ring here and takes off. But so far, I have to say neither one has. The guy who has come up the middle is the guy we just talked about, Ty Emerson. I have a hard time imagining taking him out of the lineup these days. But right now, while I like aspects that both Stastny and Regula bring, neither one of them is playing reliable hockey right now. He's going to have to turn it around, or the Oilers at the deadline are going to be bringing in someone to replace him.
I think we might see Regula next game. I wouldn't be surprised.
I'd play him tomorrow. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They both have been struggling in a bottom pairing role. Regula's advantage is he's 6'4" and Stastny's 6 feet tall. Stastny's a better skater, but Regula's, well, maybe like, I don't know.
He moves pretty good.
Yeah, I think he's kind of agile and he's pretty good with the puck.
He is.
So he's, it's good to have Spencer Stastny on the team.
Mm-hmm.
I just wonder in the playoffs, let's say Emerson's on the team. Do you really is there room for two 6 foot, 195-pound defensemen? I think they're going to want to have another guy who's 6'4". Now it could be Regula, or it could be a trade, but I think they will try to get a much bigger defenseman. Then they'll have maybe one of those guys in the lineup, either Stastny or Emerson. I could see one of them getting that chance at least. But I'm pretty sure they'll bring in another defenseman, Kurt.
Yeah, there's a few guys around the league that I wouldn't mind on this blue line that I think could make a difference. To answer your question, I don't think you can go deep into the playoffs with those two young guys in there. I think Emerson is looking like a playoff performer this year.
Yeah.
You know what? But let's just say you bring in a guy like Jamie Alexiak from Seattle.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Right? 6'7", 250 pounds. He's an expiring UFA. He has a cap hit of 4.6. If Seattle would eat half.
Where are they? All these teams, the problem is all these teams, because of the way Bettman has rigged the NHL, every team's in their playoff race.
Yeah, but nobody really expects Seattle to be there in the end, right?
You just never know what management's thinking in these cities is the problem. But yeah. So I agree with you that that's highly unlikely. But does the manager in that city see it that way?
Fair enough.
Let me just check the standings here to see where the Oilers are and everybody is. Alexiak he has been a very good player, or a good player, let's say, for a long time. And he's just the kind of player the Oilers could use. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, and if he is on your third pairing with Jake Wallman, that's a hell of a good third pairing.
That'd be really good.
Right?
Where is Seattle? Oh, they're in third in the Pacific. 51 points in 47 games. The Oilers now have 56 points in 49 games. So Seattle's in a playoff spot with the two but they're also essentially tied for the last wild card spot. San Jose has 51 points as well. Anaheim's got 51 points. LA's got 51 points. Nashville has 50 points.
Yeah. See, I think both Nashville and LA, while both of them certainly have their warts, are better teams than Seattle. I think at the end, one of those two teams is going to be in and Seattle's going to be out.
They're all minus, at least minus 10 for goal differential, which is a fairly good indicator of a team. Okay, my bad thing. It's nothing on the Oilers. It was Adam Foote's call. And listen, on Hockey Night in Canada, I thought they cut him a lot of slack. All the panelists, Friedman, Bieksa, they thought, that was like a 50-50 call. It could have been called. No, actually, it was I think it was Harudi and Friedman who both were cutting in some slack. Bieksa said, no, he pushed him in. And I couldn't see it any other way than a hard push. And I thought I saw Lazar turning his skates to try to break, to try to stop as well as he could. But the guy's knee was right in the back of Lazar's knee. There was no way Lazar could have avoided that goalie. He was barreled right into that goalie by the Canucks defenseman. And for Adam Foote, down 1-0 already, I think he caused the blowout. I think that was a really demoralizing moment for the entire team. And there wasn't a goal scored on the power play, but there was a follow-up power play where there was. But I just think it was inexplicable. Now, maybe the players on the bench wouldn't feel that way. I don't know, like because they're not seeing the review, although they might have been showing it up on the screen. But how, in, in what NHL could you call that not a goal? Where that would just be permission for a defenseman to keep railing offensive players into the goalie to stop all the goals against. I mean, it would be not a very good strategy because you might hurt your goalie, but
I think Adam Foote has Jim Hiller disease. I mean, seriously, David, any team in the NHL, if you're considering a coach's challenge against the Edmonton Oilers and you think it's 50-50, you don't challenge. That if I was a head coach, that's the way I would approach it. If it's a 50-50 call against the Oilers, take the goal and move on. Drop the puck.
why do you say that, Kurt? What do you
Because
thinking?
of the Oilers' power play. It's so
Oh,
deadly. If
yeah.
it's a 50-50 call, it's a 50-50 chance you're putting the number one power play in the league to work. It's just a recipe for disaster. And as you said, the Oilers didn't score in the first one, but then they got another manpower advantage right after that, and they went to work, and the game was over after that. Like that did end the game. Why when you kind of had the Oilers, in check and over the first 20 minutes, why let them give them any kind of oxygen at all? I thought it was just a brutal call. Not only did I not think it was goaltender interference, I thought it was very poor judgment on Vancouver's head coach. There's a lot of criticism in this market. For the people who don't know, I live on the West Coast. There's a lot of criticism in the market about Adam Foote's coaching abilities. And I think there was example number one tonight.
I don't know what he was thinking, and it took so long for them to decide whether they're going to challenge or not. And it's like, did Foot override him on the bench or something? Like it was like it seemed like I don't know. I don't know what the decision making process was, but I can't imagine a video coach looking at that play and saying, "Yeah, we're going to win this." Like
Yeah.
there's an 80 to 90% chance we're going to win this. You might say there's a 30% chance you'll win it. Somehow, I don't know how. That'd be terrible if they had won it, because it just would have been inexplicable. But you never know with the NHL. But I can't imagine that the video coach said, "Yeah, let's challenge." And I wonder if Foot overrode the
Well,
decision or what
to
happened.
your point, it took forever for them to actually say they were going to challenge it. Our buddy Ira on Twitter said, like, did they take a timeout? It's just like, what's taking so long here? It's like, any day now, guys. And it's like, yeah. But I thought it was a brutal call, and I thought they were overly polite with them on the broadcast.
Kurt, what's your number?
My number is 15-19. Zach Hyman has 15 goals in his last 19 games. Hello, Team Canada. Are you watching?
I think he's going to get picked.
I've seen him on a few panels now where he hasn't necessarily been the first person mentioned, but when he's brought up, everybody in the panel goes, "Yeah, that would be smart." So I think there's some traction out there for him. The trouble, of course, and here's where I give Team Canada a bit of a break. There is a wealth of talent on forward for Team Canada waiting to get on this team. Zach Hyman is not the only really good NHL player in the running.
Oh, for sure.
However, he is the only really good NHLer who plays with Connor McDavid night in and night out, which, if they have a brain in their head, would give him an extra chance. But
I
we'll
should
see.
send them my list of all the forwards who they've tried to fit in with McDavid and Draisaitl and how
Right?
many have failed.
Yep.
Like it's just, and if you included Team Canada, you know, they had a hard time finding people on Team Canada to play with them. It's
Yes, they
not
did.
easy.
Yep.
So,
Four Nations. It took them forever to find someone who fit.
and they
their
never
brand.
really, I think Stone in the end played pretty
I
well.
think Stone was the best of the bunch. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but, well, part of me again, the selfish Oilers, because I've heard Ekholm might get called to Sweden too because of Broberg's injury, but I'm
Yeah.
not sure about that. Anyway, both Ekholm and Hyman may end up there, and we'll see what happens there. Kurt, my number is 1.
Mm.
And so when Kasperi Kapanen, who's just been fantastic since coming back from injury, like he has been playing like a real top 6 forward.
Like every
It's like
game.
It's like the emergence of Podkolzin last year, where suddenly it's like, and it hasn't been quite as long yet, so you never know. But it's like suddenly it's like, wow, this guy he's the real deal. He belongs in the top six. He's got the skill, he's got the drive, he's hitting, he's big, he's fast. So after he scored his second goal, which was a dynamite move by Ryan Nugent
Oh,
Hopkins in the corner,
beautiful play. Just stunning.
shake his check, snake around, and whip it
Yeah.
into the slot and cap it. You know, two great shots by Kasperi Kapanen. So it's a bit of a hot streak still, but nonetheless, I was thinking, how many years did they sign that guy for? I hope they put a second year on that contract at 1.3 million. And so I checked, and it's just one. So he's just signed for this year. I wonder, let's say he continues to play like this or close to this. I wonder if he'd be interested in a Podkolzin contract, that 3 years at 3 million. Probably not. Maybe though. What do you think, Kurt? Would that be in the ball correct? He's a little older. Like Podkolzin he's still in his RFA years. Like I think in those, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he'd take it heartbeat. He's made it abundantly clear that he wants to play here. He said last year several times, he said, this is the best team I've ever played on. And he's had more than one kick at the can, right?
Yeah.
And not all players in that situation do the smart thing. In this particular case, he may actually realize that he's in the middle of a really good thing and said, I'm going to stick here. And so I actually think he would take that money. In fact, you might be able to get him for a little less than that.
So his career earnings up until now is $20 million. And we don't know what he's like with his money, like anything about that. And this is before taxes, of course, as well. It's quite a lot of money, $20 million. I'm just saying it might be indicative of a player who might be willing to trade a little bit of money to stay on a really good team. Whereas if you're just a younger player and you need like it's like Dylan Holloway and Philip Broberg, they kind of had to sign those offer sheets, didn't they? Like it's a lot of money to give up when you're a young player and you might
your
get
family
injured.
and your future to think about. You're right, you might get hurt. But when you're Kapanen's age, it's like, where is he going to get a better chance?
Yeah. And both Holloway and Broberg have been injured. Like Broberg just got injured, and I don't know if I haven't heard the prognosis on that.
I've heard that they thought that they dodged a bullet with it, but I don't know that he's going to play tomorrow. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's good news.
Yeah, you certainly don't want to see the kid
still
hurt.
like Philip Broberg as a player, and I know people are sore at him for signing that offer sheet, but Edmonton didn't work out for him, and
No.
And I think there's a lot of fault to go around on that one. So, and maybe, yeah. So I don't know. He doesn't bother me that he left. That was his call.
Yep.
Kurt, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I want to point out one particular play at the end of the game. Several times this season, you and I have pointed out where the Oilers had clearly won the game and it looked like they really let their foot off the gas late and it cost their goaltender. It stung Stuart Skinner once. It stung Calvin Pickard once. And so tonight, with the game well out of reach, I want to point out the diving play by Vasily Podkolzin on a third period penalty kill to deflect a puck away out of the slot and over the glass. Clearly the message has got through, stop hanging your goalies out to dry and reckon their numbers, right? Podkolzin, there's a case you're winning 6-0 and you're diving to deflect away a puck in the neutral zone on the PK. I mean, just another reason why we all really like Vasily Podkolzin. But, maybe the message has got through to these guys that, if you want your goaltenders to play good in front of you, maybe be there for them when they need you.
So in 8 games with the Oilers, Connor Ingram has a .907 save percentage. And in 5 games with the Oilers, Tristan Jarry has a .907 save percentage.
Has Jarry lost yet?
He lost in overtime or shootout or something.
Yeah, so that was his only blemish.
Yeah. So,
what goaltending problem?
It's interesting. They said it couldn't be done, Kurt. Like this whole thing, like when Colorado replaced both goalies last year with Wedgwood and Blackwood, they say it's like no one's ever done that. It's so unusual, and you can't do that. It's not possible. Well, we've got two goalies playing pretty well here.
Well, when Stan Bowman went out and got Tristan Jarry, we all know there was guys in the market said, "You got the wrong guy. You got the wrong guy." So far, it would seem he got the right guy.
If he can stay, like I
If
know
he
that
can
he
stay
hasn't been
healthy.
injured that much, but he's been injured a bit recently. I think
Twice
like
this
last
year.
year and
Yeah.
twice this year and maybe last year. So I just think, man, he moves well in net. He really he looks like the other good goalies I've seen in the NHL. They look like him, and he looks like them.
Yes, I agree with that. Yeah.
So that's my highly technical analysis,
Yeah.
Kurt.
And very deft with the puck.
Is he ever?
Yeah.
Is he ever? I feel a sense of confidence when the puck is on his hockey stick. So
Yep.
that's a good feeling with the goalie. That's a big part. That's a
Oh,
big
yeah.
thing for a goalie. Going back to Grant Fuhr, he was so good with the puck, brilliant with it. And Jari is really, really good.
And it gives your blue liners confidence, and it really helps in retrievals and breakouts. Like it's I mean, the Mike Smith factor. Yeah, there was don't know what's going to happen this time with Mike Smith, but by and large, that was a real plus in his game. And to the man, the defenseman who played with Mike Smith said it was a huge part of their ability to move the puck, retrieve the puck, and move it back out of their zone again, right? So
I always remember that that 3-on-3 play Mike Smith where he kind of swept the puck
yeah,
into the center ice area, and I can't remember if it was Draisaitl or McDavid who took it up and scored. But
it was an amazing play.
Kurt, thanks for talking tonight.
Thanks a bunch, David.
And thanks everybody for listening. Thanks for being the smartest, wisest, sanest hockey fans in all of hockeydom. And in the meantime, and in between time, this has been another edition of the Cult of Hockey podcast.